there, it's Leona. Welcome to Zen Mindfulness Shodo. Today, we're gonna practice Shodo meditation while focusing on the Hiragana character for ki. So, let's begin a beautiful journey together. When you write a character, imagine a square about the size of the character that you are gonna write like this. First, I'm gonna write it. Then I'm gonna explain the points and tips for writing the character beautifully in detail. Alright, now I'm gonna explain the points and tips for writing this character beautifully. The first stroke starts from a point, a bit lower than, and to the right of, the center point of the top left square. This stroke is a little bit curving down. It moves upward to the right, while curving down, until the middle vertical line is in the middle of the stroke. Before touching the paper, the pen moves downward to the left from the end point of the first stroke like this. The second stroke starts from the same height as the middle horizontal line, or slightly lower than that. That depends on the height of the first stroke, but leave about this much space between the first stroke. Also, the second stroke starts from a point slightly to the right of the starting point of the first stroke. The length is the same as the first stroke. It moves upward to the right, parallel to the first stroke, while curving down. Because length is the same as the first stroke, the end point of the second stroke is a bit to the right of the end point of the first stroke. The second stroke is like a line that's shifted directly downwards from the first stroke, with just a slight shift to the right. Before touching the paper, move your pen upward to the left from the end point of the second stroke like this. The third stroke starts from a point, a bit higher than, and to the right of, the center point of the top left square, and it's to the left of the middle vertical line. This stroke is curving to the left, or curving down. It moves downward to the right, while curving, at about a 60-degree angle. When the parts above the first stroke and below the second stroke are almost the same length, it checks downward to the left, towards the beginning point of the next stroke. The end point before the check is a bit to the left of the end point of the second stroke. If you start the third stroke from a much higher position than this, and try to make the parts above the first stroke and below the second stroke almost the same length, the third stroke will become longer and the end point will move to the right. However, if you start the third stroke from about this height, the end point will be around here. For example, if you write ki like this, or like this, the example above shows the character ki where the part below the second stroke is longer than the part above the first stroke. On the other hand, the example below shows the character ki where the part above the first stroke is longer than the part below the second stroke. If you write this character like this, they might look a bit unbalanced. So, I recommend that you make these two parts almost the same length. Before touching the paper, the pen moves downward to the left from the end point of the third stroke, in the direction of the check. The check is directed towards the starting point of the fourth stroke, so please be careful not to angle the check downwards. It looks more beautiful when the angle of the check is almost parallel to the middle horizontal line like this. When the angle of the check is closer to the middle horizontal line, these strokes appear to be connected by an invisible line. This enhances the overall harmony and beauty of the character. The fourth stroke starts from a point, under the starting point of the second stroke. This stroke is curving down, or curving to the left. It moves downward to the right, while curving down and getting thicker, until a point, a bit to the left of the right edge of the third stroke. When the space below the end point of the fourth stroke. And the space above the starting point of the third stroke. Almost the same size. The character is placed in the center of the square box, so the entire character looks more balanced and beautiful. So the end point of the last stroke, aim for that height. As I said earlier, if you create this stroke getting thicker as it moves downward to the right, instead of moving with the same thickness all the way from the beginning point to the end point like this, you can better express the beauty of curve and softness that are unique to hiragana characters. Sometimes people write this character by connecting the third and fourth strokes like this. This is a matter of personal aesthetic preference, so feel free to create the strokes as you like. Whether you connect or separate them, it's not considered incorrect. However, in many typed hiragana characters, ki are often connected like this. So if you want to give it a more handwritten feel, you can write them separately without connecting them. Then check at the end of the third stroke and make the last stroke as if they are connected by invisible line, which will make the entire character look beautiful in a handwritten way. Alright, keep these points and tips in mind when you practice. The key points for writing hiragana characters, as explained in the video, are concisely summarized in this book in a similar manner. The book allows you 3 pages to practice each character. It can be purchased on Amazon. See the link in the description. I'm gonna practice 1 page of this workbook this time, but you're welcome to practice as much as you want. If you're practicing with a pen, I recommend that you place a few pieces of paper under the page that you're writing on, so that the ink doesn't bleed onto the page under it. Alright, let's get started. Before you start writing, take a deep breath and clear your mind. Slowly breathe in as much air as you can through your nose and exhale all the negative emotions that you've been holding until this moment through your mouth. When you are mentally ready to write, you can start writing. Check the starting point, end point, the angle of the stroke, and the direction of the curve. After that, without hesitation, aim for the end point and move the pen smoothly. Try to write much slower than you normally write, putting your heart and soul into each stroke. However, if you move the pen too slowly, the lines will become shaky. And if you move the pen too quickly, the lines will become thinner in areas you don't want them to be thinner. So, concentrate on finding the right speed. Once you've finished writing the character, look at the character as a whole and think about what changes you should make next in order to make it look even more beautiful. Of course, you don't have to take all the tips and points that I've told you and copy my way of writing the character. Trust your own sense of beauty and adjust accordingly. It's important that you're satisfied with the shapes of the characters you write. So, please use my tips and points as ideas and hints for adjusting the shape of the character to your sense of beauty. Of course, you can't change the shape so much that it no longer looks like a character. If you notice that you're thinking about something else while writing, immediately focus on what you're writing. By repeating this exercise, you'll be able to notice when your attention starts to turn to something unrelated to your current action, and gradually improve improve your concentration and self-control. You can also build your patience with this practice. So, let's practice together. It's just natural that we are unable to create perfectly satisfying strokes every time. Instead of blaming yourself for not being able to make strokes that you want, try praising yourself for taking on difficult challenges. On this channel, I not only share tips and points for writing Japanese characters beautifully with a pen and a brush in both English and Japanese, but also practice Zen Mindfulness Shodo meditation that focuses all of our attention on the present moment. If you want to learn how to write other characters, or if you want to use this channel to learn Japanese language, or if you want to keep practicing Zen Mindfulness Shodo meditation with me, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell mark so you get a notification as soon as I upload a new video. If you liked this video, or if you thought the information was useful, please hit the thumbs up button. Also, if you share my videos with people who might be interested, it'll be a good support not only for me, but also for them. Alright, let's learn and practice together again in my next video. Thank you for watching.